With each tick of the clock, tomorrow is being crafted by the doers and the daring, game changers that are engineering what's coming, creating new solutions to humanity's toughest challenges. Together, let's unleash a new energy and make the extraordinary a reality. Together, we are AtkinsRéalis.
Our natural environment is being degraded, destroyed, and the pace of those changes is accelerating. For the health of our land, ocean, society, and future generations, we must form solutions by considering the challenges faced by our planet as a whole. At the University of Plymouth, we have the breadth of research expertise required to tackle today's challenges. A wealth of experience working across disciplines and sectors, and the right philosophy. We coined the term microplastics, which transformed the understanding of plastic waste, and our scientific evidence led to the UK ban on cosmetic microbeads. Our real-time storm prediction models inform the National Coastal Flooding Strategy. We co-developed deep-sea habitat classifications and mapping, which are used by the UK government and across Europe to protect marine ecosystems. With our expertise in marine and environmental intelligence, we are continually developing and innovating technology that works across land and sea. Our pioneering research applies a whole system approach in the real world, nationally and internationally.
Collaboratively, we established the Lyme Bay Marine Protected Area. This banned damaging bottom-towed fishing methods such as scallop dredging and trawling. Over 10 years, the reef significantly recovered, becoming more resilient to extreme climatic events. Fish populations increased fourfold, supporting local fishers who reported both economic and well-being benefit. Local tourism has been boosted by the abundance and diversity of life below water, and our approach is now informing fisheries management across the globe.
We provided world-leading evidence on ocean acidification caused by rising CO2 levels, and work both along coastlines and offshore to protect marine habitats and champion the drive to net zero carbon emissions. We're evaluating nature-based solutions to aid the creation and management of blue carbon. For example, reintroducing seagrass to sequester carbon, stabilise sediment and increase habitat biodiversity.
Simultaneously, we are working on offshore renewable energy innovations and technologies that consider much more than a generation of clean energy. We are also exploring ways to minimise the impact of offshore structures on marine habitats and to design offshore renewable energy solutions for the benefit of society and to work in harmony with nature.
Coastal marine ecosystems are vital lifelines in the Philippines and Southeast Asia. However, our communities and marine habitats are under extreme pressure from climate change. Local knowledge, scientific expertise, and research by the University of Plymouth and other partners are delivering marine planning solutions. This will enable more sustainable use of marine resources and protect our precious marine life. Together, we are striving to create a sustainable blue economy for our future.
Crown Estate is a company for the country. We use our incredible assets to create value for the nation. We use our evidence to help plan the best possible futures across the whole of the country. Whether that's in our London portfolio, thinking about how we use evidence and data to plan the future of this great city, whether it's across our rural portfolio, thinking about how we drive biodiversity, or across our regional portfolio and growth and jobs.
We manage the seabed and much of the coastline around England, Wales and Northern Ireland, playing a major role in the UK's world-leading offshore wind sector.
The UK has achieved amazing things, the second largest operational fleet of offshore wind in the world, but we need to act quicker and smarter if we're able to meet our nation's net zero targets.
As the pressures on the seabed increase, the challenge of ensuring it can flourish as both an economic and a natural resource is becoming increasingly complex.
We know we've got to do more in the next 10 years than we have in the last 25 years to help the nation transition faster to net zero, to help grow more jobs and skills, and crucially, to protect biodiversity in our seas. That's why we're creating a whole of seabed programme, thinking about how we plan that seabed for now, but also for future generations. We have a responsibility to unlock value for the nation and for nature.
Nature is at the very core of our ambition to become the most attractive and sustainable marine economy in the world.
The Whole of Seabed programme makes use of a unique set of digital geospatial tools. Using bespoke software, we're able to process and weigh up hundreds of spatial data sets to create a detailed understanding of future resources and demands, such as habitat restoration, offshore telecoms cables, or offshore wind, for example. This doesn't just involve information about the technical conditions, such as wind speeds, but also the cost of development in different locations. This helps us to identify sites for development which optimise the cost, the location, but also the impact of development in more detail than ever before.
We will continue to work with stakeholders to build the underlying data and evidence that we can use in the programme, as well as identifying gaps that need to be filled in order to improve our understanding of the future.
We can then use this evidence base to engage with experts from government, environmental NGOs, industries and other marine specialists to clarify the national challenges we jointly face.
But having evidence and data is only one part of the picture. We're using the Whole of Seabed programme to create essentially an action plan for the future.
The detailed evidence base generated by the Whole of Seabed programme is key to making the right decisions around how we use and develop the seabed. We are using this to develop a 2050 marine delivery route map with our partners. This will coordinate action to deliver net zero and nature recovery and meet the demands of all key sectors that use the marine space.
By agreeing a long-term strategy, UK industry and wider society will see major benefits.
We will make the best use of our marine space, generating economic, social and environmental value.
We will provide visibility and predictability on how the seabed will be developed to drive local onshore investment. And ultimately, we will accelerate delivery and reduce the costs of net zero and nature recovery.
We aim for our work to make a positive difference, inspire other nations and organisations.
And it's hard to imagine a more exciting and fulfilling role than the future of our journey to net zero and a thriving marine environment.
Our marine environment naturally accumulates and stores vast quantities of carbon in areas which are collectively called blue carbon habitats. A new scientific report has identified the location of these carbon capturing habitats in UK seas.
No other country in the world has mapped all its blue carbon habitats. The UK will be the first country to do so.
Every year, 10 to 20 million tonnes of carbon are added to our blue carbon stocks around the UK, and that is a lot of carbon.
It might be in seagrass meadows, in salt marsh, in subtidal sediments. Our marine environment has a crucial role to play in tackling climate change.
Some of these habitats are incredibly sensitive, so any direct disturbance is going to cause damage to the habitat itself and lower its ability to store carbon.
If we fail to protect our blue carbon habitats, they will lose their ability to sequester carbon, but even worse, they could release the huge amount of carbon they already store back into the atmosphere and worsen the climate crisis.
We have a wonderful marine protected areas network in place. That's our nature reserves at sea. We can use this pre-existing network to also protect very specifically blue carbon habitats. That represents an easy dual win for both nature and climate.
When we think of marine protected areas, a lot of people would think that they're actually protected, but they're not properly protected. We still have bottom trawling going on. We still have extractive activities occurring and disturbance to these places.
We've got to get the balance right. We absolutely need developments such as offshore wind. We consume and export fish, but we've got to do so in balance with the natural environment. If we did that here, it would make the UK a world leader in how to do things properly.
We're here to collect some really fundamental data, but some really also exciting data on where different types of fish go and when, and try and understand which habitats we need to protect and when.
The main aim is to gather movement information and habitat use information for species that we really don't understand very much at all.
Yeah, there's fish marking, guys.
So today we are working about 15 miles off Plymouth, and we're going to catch some pollock, and we put little electronic tags in those fish.
Fish on!
So one of our main tools is acoustic telemetry, and that's really just a method of tracking an animal underwater. And that relies on two main bits of equipment. So you have an acoustic transmitter tag, which we put inside the fish, and that transmits a unique signal for a period of around 4 years. And that fish is just basically constantly pinging a signal. And when that fish swims by one of our acoustic receivers, that receiver will log the time and date. And by building up a network of these receivers across different areas, we can then sort of pinpoint where these fish are moving, when they're moving there. And we've now got a system of receivers which spans most of the English Channel. And we hope with that we can track these sort of long-range movements, long-range migration patterns. So acoustic telemetry is becoming more common for studying the movement of fish in the wild. And so I did my PhD in 2018, and I was particularly focused on bass in estuaries. So we're trying to use these techniques that we learned with other species, and we're now getting all this really, really amazing data on how these fish are moving around and what they're doing. There's a few things that tracking fish can tell us. And the first is that we can just learn these basic questions about what is a fish doing? It sounds like a really obvious question, but we actually don't know what's going on for a number of species. Do you basically have these localised populations, or do you have fish that move from Plymouth all the way up to Sussex and back? It's a really good way of trying to figure out how targeted your management should be. So do you need to manage pollock off Plymouth in a specific way, or can you just say the English Channel is one thing and you can do a one-size-fits-all approach?
It's just really important that we learn more about all these different types of fish and their habitats so that we can do our best to protect them in the future.
We just need the best data to make the best decisions.
Tides are shifting in the world of seafood faster than ever before, keeping up with the ebb and flow of market behaviour and the changes that arise from cost of living challenges, climate and ethical concerns, and international trade trends takes clear foresight and a proactive response. Seafish is by your side to navigate these challenges, uplifting the UK seafood sector by supporting and promoting our industry's reputation. Educating, empowering, understanding, and inspiring audiences both within and outside of the industry. Because it's time to think better of seafood. It's time to show the world what seafood is for. Seafood for life. Seafood for Life is about shining a light on the health-boosting, life-enhancing benefits of eating fish, our responsible, future-facing approach to fishing, and the longevity and viability of the industry and the opportunities it provides. It's about celebrating seafood as a force for good in so many ways. Seafood for health, for climate, for choice, for opportunities, for value, for innovation, for trade, for communities. Every one of us has a story to tell. By coming together to share those stories, we can paint a bigger picture of the unique benefits seafood brings to our consumers, our coasts, and our communities. Shifting perceptions to deliver on the promise of seafood for all. Seafood forever. Seafood for life.
We are the Marine Management Organisation, England's marine manager. Climate change, a changing coastal and marine economy, resilient, clean and secure independent energy production. MMO plays a key role in these global challenges. Through our 6 key services, MMO plays a vital role in managing our precious marine environment and supporting and assuring those who use it. Our commitment to our seas and coasts is strong. It has to be, because making the most of the sea's potential while protecting its precious ecosystems matters more with each passing year. Planning, licensing and managing the use of England's marine resources presents a diverse set of demands and also opportunities to help make a real and positive difference to lives now and for generations to come. Nothing stands still at sea. So we are modernising our services, how we work, the tools we use to deliver on our ambitions for our seas and coasts, and crucially, how we engage and support our stakeholders and customers. We are delivering a range of new digital services for our customers. We're also working to modernise systems for MMO colleagues. Data and evidence continue to grow as a vital part of our DNA. As an outcome and service-focused regulator, we put our customers first. We know we're here to support them to thrive in an environment where sustainability and conservation are critical to their success now and in the future. MMO delivers our services through a network of local coastal offices and hubs across England. Our colleagues work tirelessly to deliver for customers. We support each other and our partners to make the most of the technical skills, expertise and experience that makes MMO a leader in marine management. We are connected to the communities around us, locally, nationally and globally. We keep learning and applying that new knowledge wherever in the world our expertise can enhance management of the oceans. We live by our MMO values. We are accountable, innovative, engaging and inclusive. We act to ensure we deliver the outcomes that best serve customers' and stakeholders' needs, while protecting and enhancing our precious marine environment. We look to the future. We know what we must achieve to meet the challenges ahead: environmental, economic and social, including the climate emergency, environmental protection and recovery, and energy security. We exist to manage our marine environment, and we want to manage it well for future generations. We see MMO's future, a vibrant future where we continue to support the right actions for our precious marine environment and for the people whose livelihoods, communities and heritage that our marine sustains. This is MMO, this is our MMO. Thank you for being part of it.